राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Wednesday. It is 27th of August. It is Bhadra Masa or Hrishikesha Masa. And it is Sukla Paksham. And it is Chavati Tithi. So today there is one event. It is Ganesh Chaturthi. Um, so generally, Srila Prabhupada describes celebration of the Ganesh Chaturthi. So from the Prabhupada's letters. So today it is a very auspicious day and appearance of Ganesh, and for praise to Ganesh, so all these obstacles will be removed from their lives. So here from the ISKCON directory, worshipping of Lord Ganesha. Um, so praying to Ganesh ji for material advancement deepens for your materialistic bonds and does not free you for attaining the highest perfection of human life, namely service to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And the devotee worships Lord Ganesh in order to have their path towards devotional service to Sri Radha Krishna cleared of all impediments. In the Sri Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Lord Ganesha derives his powers to destroy all impediments by worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Narasimhadeva, the form of Krishna who killed the demon Hiranyakashipu. It is recommended in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu written by Srila Rupa Goswami, one of the great Vaishnavacharyas, that all devotees should worship Lord Ganesh in order to have their path towards devotional service to Sri Radha and Krishna cleared of all impediments. And also Prabhupada has communicated with his disciples in different letters. So based on time and place and circumstances, so Prabhupada has given some instructions because they have not yet completely developed in the Krishna consciousness. During that time, so far worshipping Ganesha is concerned, that is not necessary. Not that it should be done on a regular basis. If you like, you can pray to Ganapati for removing any all impediments on the path of Krishna consciousness. That you can do if you like it. But the Ganesh Puja may not be performed. eh, So it is no need of it. And in another letter, Srila Prabhupada again writes that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 that Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayami Masuchyaha. So why you want to worship someone else? So Krishna himself recommends Mam Ekam, he alone. Therefore we must do like that. If one wants to water the tree, he waters the root. There is no necessity of watering the branches. The demigods are all different parts of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. But Krishna is even more than that whole complete universal form. He is the origin of all that universal form. Therefore, I do not encourage you to worship this demigod Ganesha. It is not required. It is not necessary. Simply worship Krishna. Perform nice devotional service to Krishna. Then your lives will certainly become perfect. Of course, if one has got some sentiment for achieving the blessings of Ganesha for accumulating large sums of money to serve Krishna, then he may perform this Ganesha worship privately, not making a public show. In another letter to Guru Krupa, regarding Ganesh Puja, I have received some letters from persons requesting to also perform it. I have explained to them that ultimately it is not required. But if you have some sentiment to get the blessings of Ganesh in order to get huge sums of money for service of Krishna, then it can be done, but privately. So Prabhupada is mentioning it can be done privately, but not in the public. So this is again described, but Ganesha is also there is one form of one of the uh, form. It is also it exists in the Vaikuntha, the Lord's expansion in the spiritual world. There is a separate planet and the Lord, his four-handed form, is also Ganesha. And that Ganesha, he gives the empowerment to the Ganesha in this material world. Ganesha is in the spiritual world and Ganesha in the material world. We worship Ganesha in the material world. And it is, if it is required, only to remove the impediments in the path of the Krishna consciousness. Any impediments when we are progressing in Krishna consciousness. That is needed. Otherwise, puja or regular puja, such kind of worships are not recommended. Otherwise, it will become materialistic. So in the Brahma Samhita, as it is mentioned, Yatpada Pallavayugum Vinidhaya Kumbhad Bhande Pranama Samaye Saganadhirajaha Vignan Vihantam Alam Asya Jagatrayasya Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yatpada Pallavayugam. So Vinidhaya Kumbha, on top of his Kumbha, Ganesha Kumbha, on top of that, he has got Yat Pada Pallava Yugam, that is the footprints of the Lord. Vinidhai Kumbha, Dhande Pranama Samaye Saganadirajaha, and Ganesha, he worships the lotus feet of the Lord. Dhande Pranama Samaye Saganadirajaha. And because he is always worshipping the Lord and having his footprints on top of his kumbha, because of that, Vignan Vihantam Alam Asya Jagatrayasya. So he has got a power to remove the impediments of the uh, any impediments in this material world while they are progressing in the spiritual path. Vignan Vihantam Alam Asya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Because of those reasons, I worship Govinda only. See, this is the relationship. We need to approach the Ganesha or any other demigods in linking with the Krishna, Shri Radha Krishna, and then we worship only Govinda, Govinda Madi Purusham, Tamaham Bhajami. But we respect all the demigods. Whenever the festival comes, we also offer our obeisances to all the demigods in a gratitude mood and also to progress in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada has not asked us to stop. We can perform privately in our homes, but not publicly, not a show off. Okay, so that is what it is described. So today is the Ganesh Chaturthi. And also in the Brahmavayutta Mahapurana, Lord Shiva also says to Mother Parvati about the Punyakavrata. Punyakavrata is the Hari Mantram Gruhitva. And whoever takes the Hari Mantram Gruhitva and then perform that one, all of his forefathers and everyone will be relieved in the brothers, the associates, and the relatives, many generations, they will be relieved from the sinful activities. And then finally he will go back to the spiritual world. That is Punyakavrata. Mother Parvati has performed that Punyakavrata. Let it also, there is a Ganesha Khanda in the Brahmavaita Purana, separately one Khanda for Ganesha. So where it is described. Okay, so and also we could also understand there the Lord, he expands himself into different forms in this material world. So we could also understand because Mother Parvati has performed Punyakarta, later on the Lord may have appeared in the material form as Ganesha. That may also we can understand from the Brahmavata Purana. Okay, so that is today's Ganesh Chaturthi and from Evan's perspective. So we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam for now. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maitreya Muni describing how the material creation has emanated from the Lord. So initially it was the Pradhana, is a dormant state, later on by the glance of the Lord, and then turned it into Prakriti. Later on, by keeping the seeds in the Prakriti, it turned it into Mahatattva, which is the source of all Ahankara. And then it will be manifested or it will be exhibited through the symptoms of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And from the mode of goodness, the mind and then all the demigods, they got generated. From the mode of passion, all the senses, they got generated along with their jnana karmadibhi, how to spend those senses, that knowledge of that also got generated from mode of passion. And from the mode of ignorance, the sound got generated. And the sound, for that sound, that is sound, sound is the tanmatra for that one, in order to accommodate bhota, and also the sense also got generated. So the sense coming from the mode of passion, that is ears, and then panchabhuta is the sky, and also tamasa. So this is tamasa bhut sukshma. Tamasa bhut sukshmadihi yatah kam lingamatmanah. From mode of ignorance, the sound has come. The sound itself is the source of this entire creation before it get manifested. Tamasa bhut sukshmadihi yatah kam lingamatmanah. So from there, the sky has formed. After that, kalamaya amsha yogena bhavad vikshitam nabaha, bhagavad vikshitam nabaha. Later on, by the glance of the Lord, uh, kalamaya amsha yogena. This is with the mixture of external energy of the Lord, and then nabaso anusutam sparsham. The sense of touch got generated. Vikurvan nirmami anilam. And then also the air also got generated. Sparsha and also the air. And then corresponding the sense is the skin. They got generated. So later on, Maitreya Muni further describing in a gradual process that in the third set, the water and the taste that got that sorry in third set he mentions that rupa got generated, eyes got generated, and also jyotihi, the agni, got generated. And then in the fourth set he also mentions that the water got generated and also taste by the glands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, likewise, Maitreya Muni gradually explaining to Vidura. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 5, verse number 34 and 35. अनिलोऽपि विकुर्वाणो नभसो गुरुबलान्वितः ससज्जरूपतन्मात्रं ज्योतिर्लोकस्य लोचनम्. Anilopi vikurvanu. Anilopi is air, api, air also, vikurvana, being transformed. Nabaso urubalanvitaha. And Nabasa is the sky, urubalanviti, extremely powerful. So now the air is there, the sky is there. Anilopi vikurvanu, nabaso urubalanvitaha. Sasajja rupa tanmatram. Then it is created. What is that created? Rupa. Rupa tanmatra, the form, sense perception. Rupa tanmatram. It is the sense of sight. The rupa means one can be seen, that can be seen with the eyes. Rupa tanmatram. Jyotihi. Jyotihi lokasya lochanam, or the agni. So here it is mentioned electricity or the agni. Jyotihi lokasya lochanam, of the world, and lochanam is the light to see. So anilopi vikurvano nabasu guru bhalanvitaha sasajja rupa tanmatram jyotirlokasya lochanam. Thereafter, the extremely powerful air interacting with the sky generated the form of sense perception, and the perception of form transformed into electricity, the light to see the world. There is no purport for this. We shall go to the next shloka as well. And further, Maitreya Muni mentions, Anilenanvitam jyotihi vikurvad paravikshitam adattambo rasamayam kalamaya amshayogatah anile anilenanvitam jyotihi anilena anvitam by the air interacted jyotihi with the electricity or the fire anilenanvitam jyotihi vikurvanat paravikshitam and being transformed paravikshitam being glanced over by the supreme. So paravikshitam para means it is the supreme, vikshitam being glanced over by the supreme. Adatta ambho rasamayam, adatta again created. So Adatta, Amba, Rasamayam. So here sometimes we use Adatta, Sasajja. This is the created. This is a different words used for the same meaning because of the chandas or the grammatical way. So they use those different words to for the same purpose. Adatya, Adatta, Ambho, Rasamayam. Ambha is the water, Rasamayam with the sense of taste. Adatta Ambha Rasamayam Kalamaya Amshayogatah. Kalamaya Amshayogatah. The Kalamaya is of the eternal time. Maya Amsha is of external energy. Yogatah by a mixture. Okay, so this is water and also corresponding the taste. Tanmatra is the taste they got generated. For that one, the sense is already generated from the mode of passion. That is the tongue. Anilenanvitam jyotihi vikurvad paravikshitam adatta ambhorasamayam kalamaya amshayogatah. When the electricity was surcharged in the air and was glanced over by the Supreme at that time by a mixture of eternal time and external energy, there occurred the creation of water and a taste. Okay, so that is for the third shloka, 35th shloka. So there is no purport here. So I think we can just create one kind of picture using this sequence of elements getting generated in a gradual way as well. Maybe I request any one of the devotees, if you try to do it, it would help you to understand how the gradual creation takes place. So this one way, minutely we can perceive. So sometimes in our home, we directly see there are some small, tiny particles. They are floating in the air. When we watch from the windows, the light coming from the outside, the sunlight. So from the inside home, we see in that light, the small particles are floating. So this is calculated by, these calculations are also described. So those are called thrasarenu. They're called Thrasarenu. So starting from very minute particles, Paramanu, and two Paramanus called one Anu, and three Anus called one Thrasarenu. Those Thrasarenus are we can see with our eyes while they are floating in that window's sunlight. Sunlight falling through the window. At that time we can see it. Maitreya Muni describes that one in detail. So those particles gradually fall onto the floor, and then in due course of time there will be lots of dust. Where does this dust coming from? So that one has to understand. So in due course of time, this dust falling and falling and falling and falling, it, it also makes in due course with mixture of water. So again, water comes from in a different place again. So it mixed up with, this is how the earth may takes place. There is a dust, likewise dust accumulated a lot of dust, millions of particles of like that, or and then mixing with the water, the earth comes. So that is in front of our eyes. If we just keep on observing, uh, then we could perceive how the things are. So whenever Krishna mentions to in the Brahma Samhita, Ekopisau Andantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Lord also enters into the gigantic universe. Andantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam. He also enters into tiny particles of. So whenever it is the tiny particles are floating, that one has to understand that it is the Lord's external energy. Lord's external energy. So in such a way, it gradually forms, and then that small dust particles mixing with the water, and then later on there will be you would find small kind of life coming out of it. Generally, we would see under some kind of the buildings there is no soil there, but how come there is this, some kind of trees would come out of the walls? One has to understand how it is possible. There is no soil there, no seed there practically. But how can the life, some small plants are coming from the walls suddenly? So these dust particles keep on forming and forming and forming. There is a kind of a soil get formed there. And then likewise, when the seeds by the birds or something else, automatically they will come there, and then the pollen is a floating pollen that will just come there, and then gradually with the interaction of the water the plants would come out into the life, and then they grow. If it is kind of a people tree or banyan tree, and then that's it, it will occupy this entire building, and then it will grow. That building will be crushed later on with the roots of that tree. So it is very wonderful to observe such kind of things. Why it is happening? It is by here. It is mentioned here. Jyotirlokasya lochanam. This is kalam paravikshitam by the glance of the Lord. So everything happens. So here the main ingredients is the life force, the seed. Okay, that is coming from Krishna. Okay, so this is the gradual process, but it is very wonderful. But we may just feel wonderful, but what is our action? We can't do anything. We may try to do alter a little bit of what we like, this way or that way, moving earth like this and cleansing something like that, but we cannot stop that process. If you take a bigger house, you have to be a servant of that house. You have to put some energy, time, and everything to maintain that house. But we cannot stop the falling of the dust and cleaning. So that process must be keep going on. So that's why intelligent people they live naturally with a small thing, so that they do not have to interact with the nature unnecessarily, like cleansing and unnecessary wasting of time, energy, all these things. So whatever they depend on only the fruits and roots, and then fruits and roots they do not need much of time to cultivate the like a grains to be cultivated in the farms. So fruits and roots they will be available from the plants and from the ground, or also from the plants like that. They take those things without much endeavor, and they spend most of energy for the tapasya, executing the devotional essential activities of the human life. Okay, otherwise, controlling the material nature, it is very difficult. So, likewise, live simple, think high, reduce the material comforts. Otherwise, this is Tejavad Mrudam Yada Vinimayo Yatra Trisargho Mrusha. So, the interactions of all these things, really, Panchabhutas and Tanmatras, senses, it keep going on. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. That is a little bit of deep subject. So, for now, Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidra about the gradual process of creation. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. अनिलोऽपि विकुर्वाणो नभस्सुगुरुफलान्वितः ससज्जरूपतन्मात्रं ज्योतिर्लोकस्य लोचनम् अनिलेनान्वितं ज्योतिः विकुर्वत् परवीक्षितम् आदितम्भोरसमयं कालमाय अंशयोगतः. Okay, from Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Shri Birlaji and November 8th, 1970, Bombay. So can I request Usha Mataji to read this letter, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yes. Dear Sir Billaji, please accept my greetings. I beg to apologize for not keeping our scheduled appointment on the morning of November 3rd. I became ill due to exhaustion from too much traveling and was not able to leave my room. I have been told by my disciple that you have kindly agreed to donate 500 rupees to our society. There are many beautiful books which our society has published within the last few years and which many of the gentlemen of Bombay are now receiving as life member of our society and take advantage of these wonderful Krishna consciousness books. The membership fee is 1111 rupees. I should very much like to see you as this is one of the reason I have returned here to Bombay. So when you are feeling fully rested, I hope you will arrange an appointment at your convenience. I hope you are feeling better. Yours sincerely, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Would you like to share any reflections from this letter, Mataji?
So Prabhupada is writing some Billaji because Prabhupada is couldn't travel because of he was ill and maybe too much traveling and then he became ill, so he couldn't leave his room, and he requested that Billaji to agree to kindly donate the 500 rupees to society, and that as many as members became taking the membership is not very much, like 1111 rupees. So then everybody get advantage uh, and take that life membership to get the Krishna consciousness book. So that is benefit for the society and for every person to read the Krishna consciousness book. And yes, Prabhu, that the main concern about the Prabhupada to as many as member can be get membership to uh, and that is the Krishna consciousness book. So the main purpose is Prabhu that is the Prabhupada and then take away to get the membership. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing those summary points. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? So that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So Prabhupada was not well due to exhaustion from too much traveling and was not able to leave my room. It is possible even for the young people nowadays. It is not possible to travel every day like that. But Prabhupada did it without much rest. He was traveling all around the world. Okay, so that is one of the things that we could see. And what are the books we have got to take advantage of those books? Krishna consciousness books. If all our books are Krishna consciousness. Whatever the page we see only Krishna consciousness. It is so beautiful. It is no more material. It is all transcendental literatures. Okay, he's encouraging Billaji to read those books. Okay, okay, that is one point I can take from my side. Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter and from the announcements point of view. So today is Wednesday, and today evening we have got Kirtan evening at 8 p.m. Okay, that is from your perspective. And the devotees, if you have got any updates or you want to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण कॉन्शियस डे।